All right, so we'll start your name and the medium you work in.
Okay. My name is Amanda Warren, and I am a clay artist.
All right, tell us a little bit about your education and background.
I received my Bachelor's of Fine Arts from Alfred University in 2010, and then went on to Syracuse University to get my Master's in Art Education. And after that, did some substitute teaching, and I've been with 171 as the Ceramic Technician since 2014.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about what or who inspired you to pursue a career in art.
Art was not something that I thought I was going to go to college for. When I started high school, I was pretty sure I was going to go to school to be a doctor. And then in 9th grade, I had an art teacher who happened to do clay, and I just started hanging out in his room a lot more. So because I was pestering him and around all the time, he started showing me how to work on the wheel and how to work with clay, and my focus shifted. So I started pursuing art as a more major focus of my high school curriculum, and developed a portfolio and took summer courses, and then went to art school. But to help my parents feel more comfortable with that, I also got my teaching degree so that I could potentially have a job, but that bubble kind of burst as soon as I graduated, so I don't know how well that plan worked. But they were both music instructors. They went to school for music, so they understood kind of the struggle of being able to find a job specifically for that field. So they wanted me to be a little bit more secure with my job prospects. So finding a job here at 171 was a lucky happenstance that kind of melds both teaching and art practice together. So it's a really niche job that I'm lucky to have.
Great. So tell us a little bit about the inspiration or the theme for the series that you provided to Mosaic this year.
So I've participated in each Mosaic that we've had, and all but one of my installations for Mosaic have been focused on letters and how to display them in clay. So this year, my installation was based off of an idea that was going to actually be installed at the Rockwell's Art Lab, and because of how things progressed this year, that show didn't happen, but I still had all of this work and all of these ideas to work through. So for Mosaic, I kind of pivoted and used the same thought process and ideas for that show for the Mosaic show. And it's this whole convoluted process of designing letters online using software, printing them out using a Cricut machine to create a template to then cut out in clay, and then the whole impetus for that show that I was going to have at the Rockwell was for things to be interactive. Now, in a time when we're not really supposed to be touching things, seems like a perfect opportunity to make an installation where people are going to touch things. But I can demonstrate how all of my letter forms will be movable, and you can kind of spin them and get this kind of kaleidoscope effect with a stationary design on the back and then this mobile design on the front, and this is the part that's made out of clay. So I am obsessed with letters because I keep coming back to them, and the font that I tend to be drawn to is Helvetica specifically. So the whole iterations of my pieces, especially the ones that have been in Mosaic, I call Kaleidoscope. So this is the 4th generation of Kaleidoscope, and I'm calling it To the Letter or By the Letter. I haven't decided yet, but that is my plan for this year's installation.
Great. And then my final question that I've been asking all the artists is, why do you believe art is important?
Art is essential. It kind of helps us synthesize everything that we experience in our daily lives and help us process information. At least for me, it's a way for me to focus my energy so that it's a little less stressful. Although there's certainly a different type of stress in making artwork and having deadlines, but art is a way for us to just express that inner creativity that needs an outlet. And for me, that outlet is through my hands and into clay. And when I can share that kind of inner process with people through my artwork, that really kind of helps drive me to keep making more. And in a time when there's so many other confusing and scary things happening, I think art is an excellent way for people to kind of process the world around them and feel better.
Okay, great. So that's it for my prepared questions. Is there anything you wanted to add about Mosaic this year, or?
I'm just excited that we can make it work. Mosaic is a fun challenge that I've kind of dedicated myself to each year, and when all of these artists get together, I'm excited to see all of the different versions of artwork that we can have on display.
And then before we end, you talked about the fact that you actually work here as well. Do you want to talk about anything that might be coming up in the ceramic studio these coming months?
These coming months. So we're plugging along in the ceramic studio. In this October, we'll be trying to do our raku firing out in our parking lot using our fiber kiln. Give our students a chance to play with fire and have immediate gratification with their clay work. And we're trying to develop new programming and workshops for everybody, children and adults, coming forward to winter and to spring. So make sure to keep your eyes peeled on our website to see all of the new offerings that we'll have in the clay studio.